And we are here again with another tutorial video on Leading Forex YouTube channel. My name is Kofi, your admin for this channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about 4 stages of losses in the Forex market. 4 stages or 4 types of losses in the Forex market. I'm sure you might have not heard this before, but I'm here to tell you that when it comes to the Forex market, we have about 4 types of losses or 4 types of losses. And what are they? That is what I'm going to expose to you in this video. So take your time and watch this video to the end. We have a tutorial playlist if you haven't come across that. This is going to be part 53 of our tutorial playlist. So if you go to the description of this video, you will find the link to the whole tutorial playlist. The playlist is Forex Trading for Beginners, Forex Training for Beginners, Forex Training for Beginners. We also have another playlist which has to do with signals. If you want signals or forecasts that you can actually use to trade in the course of a trading week, then this channel is right here for you. We have that every weekend. Every weekend we present to you signals, and often they come on Sundays. On Sundays, you'll get the signals on this channel. And then you watch and analyze the charts and then wait for the market to open. Then you start executing. So we also have that on this channel. But let's go back to what we have today, which is our lesson, the 4 types or stages of losses in the Forex market. My name is Kofi, your admin for this channel. Without wasting my time, let's go and see what we have for ourselves. So this is also going to be part of the Forex psychology thing we've been doing these days. So 4 stages of losses in the Forex trading market or Forex trading. That is what we are going to look at. Already, I'm sure most of you here know how to get in touch with me. If you want one-on-one mentorship, you can get in touch with me, and it's only $100 for the whole mentorship. I'll hold your hand step by step and then take you through till you become that good Forex trader. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to go straight forward to what I am using, what works for me. I just expose you to that and you are good to go. So these are my contact details in case you want to get in touch with me. The cost is just $100 if you want the one-on-one mentorship. But if you don't have the $100, do not worry, because I still got you set on this channel over here. The good videos I'm producing here can equally make you a good Forex trader. So you have nothing to worry at all. Just follow us religiously, and I'm sure you'll be good. All right, so these are my handles: Telegram, email, phone number, and then WhatsApp. Now, Forex trading is all about finding the right information, and we want to be your alternative in that regard, helping you find the right information, okay? That is what Leading Forex we are here for. Now, let's go straight into today's topic without wasting my time. We are looking at the stages of losses in the Forex market. Let's read the notes carefully and then take note of the points that will follow. Point number 1 says, losing trades is a normal part of Forex trading process. And I like the word normal. We are saying that it is normal. It is not something weird. It is not something extraordinary. This is just a normal way of making it look bad, if I'll put it, in the Forex market. So losing trades is a normal part of Forex trading process. It's normal. There's no trader who has never lost. All successful traders, they lose. If you ask them, they lose. They are successful traders, but they still lose. They make 1 or 2 losses every day. They make huge losses every day. So every successful trader know what I'm talking about, that losing in the Forex market is just a normal way of life in the Forex trading business. Now, that is point number 1. Point number 2, let me make it clear that it is something that many traders, both newbie and pros, have difficulty dealing with. Yes, losses are things that are very difficult for people to easily deal with, to even easily take it cool. It is so difficult to take it easy when you lose. And it is not just the new traders or those who are beginning the journey, but also the professionals, the so-called professionals. We, the so-called professionals, we don't take it lightly when we lose. We are sometimes hit. We sometimes feel it when the losses come. But like I'm saying, most of us traders, we find it difficult dealing with the losses when they come. Point number 3. The main reason behind the difficulty in coping with losses lie with the lack of understanding of it or its nature and its impact on trading psychology. So this is the reason why we find it difficult to cope. The reason is because the losses lie with the lack of understanding of its nature and its impact on trading psychology. This will all make sense as we progress. Point number 4. There are 4 stages of losses in Forex, and they are denial, rationalizing, depression, and then acceptance. These are the 4 stages of losses, or the 4 types of losses that every trader will come across. We have, once again, denial, we have rationalizing, we have depression, and then acceptance. What are they? Let's go into details one after the other, so that I'm sure you are kind of asking yourself at the moment, what is this guy talking about? Let's take them one by one. All right. Straight to the first one, which is denial. The denial stage, or the denial type. In this phase, point number 1 is what I'm reading to your hearing. Okay. In this stage or phase, you deny yourself and others that your trading idea was wrong and that the loss wasn't your fault. You simply tell yourself after the loss comes that, okay, this is not my fault. Okay, I did everything right. It just wasn't my fault. Point number 1. So you are denying yourself, or maybe the others who are following you, in believing that your trading idea was wrong. And then you reconcile with yourself by thinking that, okay, the loss that came wasn't your fault. Point number 2. You end up saying, I was stop hunted. And I'll explain what is meant by stop hunted. Or I didn't really care for that trade. That is why I lost. Most of us do say that, okay, I really didn't give this trade the attention it deserved. That's why I lost. So not giving this the attention it deserves doesn't mean that I am at fault here. I'm not at fault. Are you getting it? So these are the ways we deny ourselves of the truth or the reality. Some of us even say, oh, it's as a result of some news somewhere, some news that came and then just destroyed the whole trade. The setup was right. Everything was okay. So you end up saying there's nothing wrong with feeling this way. So you tell yourself, when you find yourself in such a situation, tell yourself that there's nothing wrong in feeling this way, especially if you are new. It's a way to ease the blow to your ego, just to survive the loss and move on. So this is the first stage, the denial stage. You end up by convincing yourself to say that, okay, I had everything perfectly right, but the loss I'm seeing isn't my fault. Being stop hunted means that the banks or the institutions, the market makers, decided to take the trade way beyond your understanding. They were hunting for your stop loss. At times, people come with such analysis that sometimes these institutions can come after your loss, your stop loss. Make sure your stop losses hit. And once they hit all your stop losses, then they go the either way or the other way that you were thinking of. So there are people who say that, yes, sometimes banks will stop hunt you or try to chase your stop loss. Make sure they hit your stop loss. So people end by saying that, okay, maybe that is one of the reasons, or that is what happened. The market makers chased your stop loss, or some news came out and then the news was supposed to be right with my analysis, but it ended up going the other way around. And then you deny yourself the real truth or the reality on the ground, making it feel like you didn't do anything wrong. You got everything right, but just that it didn't work. Fine. If that is your case, and if that is your excuse all the time, or if you've been in a situation like this, then you are in a denial stage of losses. I have been there before. I have been there. Even sometimes it happens. I feel like, come on, this shouldn't have been me. Why this loss? So you are denying yourself the reality, giving all kinds of excuses to back that the loss that came wasn't something that was supposed to happen, but something happened or something caused it. That is the denial stage. Let's move ahead and see the other stages as we move along. All right, the next stage I want to talk about is the rationalization stage. Now, after denial, the first point is that after denial, you move on to rationalizing your trade setup. This is the point where you point out everything that is right about your trade idea and do not even think about what you did wrong. So you go extra after denial, you go extra to rationalize and say to yourself that, look, this and this and this were the things I did right, but I still lost. But we do not take our time to look at possibly what we didn't do right. We don't take our time to look at that. Is there something that we did wrong that could possibly trigger this loss that I got? We don't look at that. We only care about the things we did right, which we were supposed to win and we ended up losing. But we don't really take our time to look at whether there was something that you were supposed to look at, which maybe your mind didn't go there or your mind didn't come on it. Or there was a minor mistake you did somewhere, which you are refusing to see or to identify. Once you get into such a stage, you are in the rationalization stage. You cite the appropriateness of your trading. That is the point 2. You cite the appropriateness of your trading plan, and then your profit target, your stop loss, and entry point, but totally disregard that you actually did lose the trade and made a mistake somewhere. So we don't normally look at that. We always think that we made things right or we got things right. And so we weren't supposed to lose, but we ended up losing. Once you find yourself in such a situation, then you should know that you have entered into the rationalization phase. You are refusing to accept defeat. You are refusing to open up yourself to find out more about what caused your loss. Once you do that, you are in the rationalization stage or type of what? Losses. Are we good? Now, let's move on to the next, and then quickly, you will see how things will unfold. We have the depression stage, and that is where most of us find ourselves, at the depression stage. And just as the word says, depression. Let's read some notes. At this point, you have already looked at all the possible external reasons for your losses. You then turn inward and consider the idea that the loss was completely caused by your own doing. Point number 2, I will explain. Although it's reasonable to make responsibility or to take responsibility for your loss, blaming yourself too much can be damaging to your Forex career if you consistently doubt yourself. The guy at the background crying is my son. I don't know whether he wants to do Forex trading tonight, but let's go on with the news and then the lesson. So point number 2 says that although it's reasonable to take responsibility for your loss, blaming yourself too much can be damaging to your Forex career if you consistently doubt yourself. So yes, at this depression stage, you feel like you don't even have a good strategy. What you are doing, you are not seeing any progress. I think there's another point. Let me see. There's some notes I wrote somewhere. Let me see if that is part of this. Good, it is. And it says that you may ask yourself questions like, is Forex trading really for me? And why should I go on at all? I'm making losses. Why should I even continue? I don't think this Forex trading is even for me. You could even wind up withdrawing yourself from the business altogether if you can't find enough reason to keep pushing forward. Those who have experienced this kind of self-doubt can attest that the longer the losing continues, the more intense the feeling of depression. Some even talk about pursuing other opportunities and giving up on Forex trading. Once you find yourself in this category, you should know that you've gotten to a very critical point in your life. You feel that your trading strategy is not good. You don't even have confidence in yourself anymore. You feel like everything is just wrong. And then you begin to ask yourself questions. Is this thing really for me? Is it really something people make money from? Is it real? That's the question some people ask. Is Forex trading really something profitable? Do people really make money out of it? I doubt. So you begin to say all these things at the back of your mind. And then you feel like, is this thing not just some scam somewhere? Why not just forget this thing and look elsewhere? Or venture into something different? You might even end up saying this is maybe a Ponzi scheme that people are using to make money from people. You have a lot of thoughts. Once you get to this depression stage, you are totally depressed. You feel like everything is not right. And this is not for you. So let me leave it and go look for something else. That is the depression stage of losses. Now let's see if we can add the last one. Then I'll come back and give you a recap. Stage number 4, acceptance. In this stage, you begin to realize that it's unhealthy to blame yourself for everything that went wrong. Even though you have accepted that the loss was partly your fault. You are also mindful of the fact that the Forex market is a wild and tame beast, and that there are plenty of market factors beyond your control. This is also another stage. People come to confess and say that, look, there are factors that our eyes do not see in the Forex market. And those factors account for the losses that we make. There are people behind somewhere, behind a computer or a PC or a software somewhere, manipulating the market. making sure the market comes to hit our stop losses. That is the acceptance stage. So, although you blame yourself a bit, but you also kind of apportion some of the blame to maybe some unknown forces or institutions somewhere. Yes, we do. We do that a lot. We apportion the blame to some unknown forces somewhere. So even though you have accepted the loss was partly your fault, you are also mindful of the fact that the Forex market is a wild and tamed beast. It means no one has control over it. And so, since no one has control over it, there may be plenty of market factors that will be beyond your control, which will cause the losses that you are seeing. So a lot of us also come to this realization. And then it continues and it says that, let me clarify and say that acceptance isn't that simple about feeling, okay? Or acceptance isn't that simple about feeling okay about a loss. But in truth, acceptance is more aligned or more like aligning yourself with reality and realizing that the loss cannot be undone. When you reach this stage, you accept that you have made some mistakes on your part, but there are also things you are unable to control. This is the acceptance stage. Yes, I agree that I made some mistakes somewhere, but I also want to agree to the fact that, okay, there are some forces somewhere, there are some things happening, there are some factors that is beyond my control. So that is why those losses came. So what can I do? Once you begin to think like this, once you begin to say things like this, then you are at the acceptance level. So what do I tell you, or what do I say to you as you watch this video? At the end of the day, it is important to remind yourself that you can never truly reverse what has been lost, but rather you can make up for it. You can't reverse a loss, but you can recover. You can make up for it. Maybe you lost $100, $200. You can't reverse that loss, but you can accept that loss and then try your best to recover the loss that you made. That is very possible. That is the first thing I want you to know. It is very, very important. Point number 2. One obvious way to do this is to have a winning trade and recover financially. But you can work on rebounding mentally as well. The 4th point says that you can come up with improvements for your trading strategy. Exercise better risk management, or just figure out how to handle your losses better. Instead of simply denying the loss, you have to move on, adapt, and grow. These last 2 points are my suggestions. There are 2 points that are very important to me. And all I want to say is to repeat them again by saying that you can come up with improvements for your trading strategy. Exercise better risk management, or you just figure out how to handle your losses better. And then instead of simply denying the loss, you have to move on, adapt, and grow. This is the way to go. As for the losses, they will come. But once you accept and then grow strong mentally to believe that yes, you can also make it happen. If other people are making it, you can also make it. Once you have that mentality, once you come to that realization, all you need to do is to figure out how you can handle your losses. And then you move on, you adapt, and then you grow. This is the surest way to becoming a good Forex trader. As for the losses, these 4 stages will always happen in our lives. They will always come in our lives as traders. But let's embrace it. And once we embrace that, we can make progress. My name is Kofi, your admin for this channel. Subscribe to this channel for more videos, more tutorials that will help you. I know you've never heard of losses having stages or types, but today you have just been told. This is how exclusive we can be. That is why we want you to be part of us as a community. So subscribe to this channel. Keep coming and watching our videos, and then let's grow together. If you are not sure of what stage that you are, or if you know of the stage in which you are, drop a comment for me. Let me know the stage you find yourself. These 4 stages: the denial stage, the depression stage, the realization or rationalization stage, and then the final stage, which is also acceptance stage. Let me know which of these stages you belong to or you find yourself whenever you lose in the Forex market. I'll see you on Sunday, which is on the 18th. Yes, Sunday is going to be 18th, right? Okay, today is rather 18th. Tomorrow, Sunday, will be 19th. I'll see you with a forecast, a signal that you can trade and make profit from it. See you. Until then, take very good care of yourself. And remember, we are here for you always.